Yeah, that was indeed ridiculous. As Lamont Lovett would go on to say, it is Football Saturday in Arizona. We are back out here on the U of A Mall for our second pregame show of the season. My name is David Kelly. We are joined, as always, by Glenn Howe, and Kelvin Ifan will be joining us here in just a few moments. Arizona Wildcats, Northern Arizona Lumberjacks today at the stadium, with kickoff coming up at about 7 o'clock tonight. So you get home maybe half an hour earlier.
Yeah,
you got
1:30. Instead of 2.
Yeah, it was late. It was late. That's what. But hey, that's what I can't believe. To be honest with you, Glenn, there were people that were, when they heard the game time tonight was 7, they're complaining. I'm like, what are you complaining about? Nothing has changed. These are the same game times we've had. I've been here. This is 17 years now for me. These are the same game times we've had for 17 years. I'm shocked that people still complain about it.
This is ridiculous.
It is. It is really ridiculous. First of all, we got to fill this. We got to fill this stadium up, man. I'm telling you, because we're going into the Big 12, and I'm going to emphasize it every week, Wildcat fans, that we got to get some people in the butts in the seats, because people are watching us. We're watching us, and we're going to make the cut. If we're going to make the cut into the big boy league, if we can't fill 50,000, we might not make the cut. So we got to be able to get the butts in the seats, get them in there. We got a good team. We have no excuse. We got a good team that's going to play well. Let's just get in there and support this team.
Arizona, Northern Arizona, we're with you for the next 3 hours here, leading you up to the network coverage, which will begin today at 5:30. And again, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Brian Jeffries and Lamont Lovett, who you heard there at the top of the show, will have all of your play-by-play action coming up for you today. All right, let's take a look back at the last game in our first look at today's game.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Tetero McMillan had one heck of a game last week, a career game, 304 yards receiving, an all-time U of A record with
a flag football game.
That's really what it was, for sure. And the yards after the catch was the story. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous what T-Mac was doing after he got the ball, and he talked about just everybody that was involved in making those plays happen for him.
That's to everybody. Coach Baber's putting me in the right position to be successful. Cole throwing me the ball where I needed to be. And just Coach Bobby and just the whole coaching staff encouraging me to be, a high-caliber player that I'm supposed to be. I think my mindset is a lot different from last year. My mindset is just to make plays as much as I can. And it's a lot different from last year, like I said. And shoot, but I got to give testament to all my teammates and my coaches.
30-plus yards per catch in that ball game last Saturday night, Glenn, for Tetero McMillan.
Well, first of all, I like his attitude. I like it's not about me. It's about everybody around me that's making me better. You got your best guy on the squad congratulating everybody but himself. And that's what you need to have a winning program, a winning team, and that's leadership. That's where you don't take the credit for anything. I was saying that people got to give Noah some credit too, because he gave him the ball where he can advance the ball. Mm-hmm. So that is important. You got to understand that, fans, is that a lot of these catches, these guys that, just like in the NFL, they look at that stuff to where are you throwing the ball, not just the completions. Is it how are they advancing the football after they catch the ball? Are they doing it in stride? Are they doing it, where they have to contort their body and they can't turn their hips to advance it north and south? Those are the kind of things that you need to look at as a good quarterback. And Noah Fafia Fafita is doing those kinds of things.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that where a guy is wide open and he maybe doesn't get the ball in the right place? He has to lunge and he falls to the ground and he doesn't have that opportunity to advance the ball. Noah and T-Mac, they've been doing this for a long time, going back to high school, grade school. Noah on the record performance by his friend.
I think if people were listening to my interviews all offseason, they probably thought I was being overdramatic, but I think he came in and proved my point perfectly. He's the best player in the country, and his statistics show that.
Brett Brennan on those missed tackles and all that went into that yard. I like to call it, we call it yak. I think we're going to start calling it T-yak. T-yak. Tetaroa yards after catch.
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of that has to be with like guys doing their job and being in position to make a play, and so I think some of that, and not just being where they're supposed to be in terms of schematically, but being where they're supposed to be in terms of their body posture, and whether that's bent knees or under control when they get to the point of attack, not just flying by. You try and do a lot of that in practice and give yourself a chance to work on angles and form tackling and the proper way to tackle and the proper position to be in. But it's definitely something that's hard to simulate, and I think coaches across America are having this conversation every single off-season, in-season. You're trying to create the most safe practice environment you can, but also get kind of the required physical work you need to get done, and it's a challenge.
Yeah. We talked about that
on
Tuesday, is that how most of our guys on defense just weren't, the shoulders were not square or not parallel to the line of scrimmage, turning their shoulders inside, getting their hips in the right position. Those are small little things that are important in college football. And if you have high school coaches out there, if you could teach your kids in high school that, they are going to have a better chance of being successful in the college level if they want to play the college level. And then you are going to be very, very successful at high school level, because on the high school level, you watch that, and it's unbelievable what I see about kids not being in the right position with the proper positioning. That is so important for the technique, and you see the high-level teams. I watched Texas today. They were trying to burn him on the outside, and that outside linebacker was square to the line of scrimmage, and he was gobbling them up. They couldn't get anything. Michigan couldn't get nothing, and that's about technique and playing hard football. And when you have good technique, you can really play hard-nosed football.
Teto McMillan and Noah Fafita, and you heard at the top among those highlights the 78-yard play, which was just a beautifully run play by those two. First of all, kudos to the line. They gave Noah plenty of time to allow that play to transpire as T-Mac came across the middle. He was in the middle window. That wasn't working, so he continued to the sideline window, and Noah hit him perfectly. T-Mac this week saying it doesn't get any better chemistry than that.
It was funny that we were talking about this yesterday. We was just rewatching the play, and I was just like, man, is this like one of our best chemistry moments right here? So we speak about it a lot. Just our relationship off the field correlates to on the field. And, you can obviously see that in that play. Just him knowing that I was going to the next window, and me knowing that he was going to throw me to the next window. It was just night and day, and I'm just happy we made a play.
And some of the new players here on the Wildcats, like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Bill really impressed with his offensive compadres.
It was unreal. I love playing around good athletes, having a good wide receiver, good quarterback, good O-lineman. It's just fun playing around a lot of athletes and just making a lot of plays with those guys.
Yeah, I tell you, when you're the dude, everybody's keying on you, and you got it. That's exactly what he's saying is that now I can slide in and get me 150. Right. I can get me 150, and they were like, oh, where did he come from? Because we're trying to stop T-Mac and all these other guys.
Yeah.
I mean, when you surround yourself with a bunch of weapons, one day that weapon's going to fire. It's going to fire on all cylinders, and then another day you may not even get a few, but then it just pass it around, and that's a great luxury for Dino Babers. So he can use that. He can put some different things into the game plan where he's going to isolate and put these guys in great positions.
Brent Brennan has been coaching the entirety of this century. In fact, his first year as a coach was the year 2000. Brent, have you ever seen a performance like that?
Not like that. Similar. I think we had one close to that with Brandon Cooks at Oregon State. But T-Mac's obviously special, man. The yards after catch, that was like those big explosives were just incredible. Outran the whole secondary on the big one down the sideline. He's awesome. He's an awesome competitor, and he's also not satisfied. He's like, we can play better.
Brandon Cooks, that's a pretty good comparison. That's a guy that out of Oregon State, we had a chance to see him in college at Oregon State with the Beavers. He was a first-round pick with the New Orleans Saints and a top receiver in the National Football League. He was the 20th overall selection 10 years ago in 2014. Already, Tetsuo McMillan is projected to be higher than that, but that's a pretty nice comparison to a performance to be compared to a guy like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And what I'm really, really not concerned about is that T-Mac start reading his clips, his headlines. I think that he's got enough people around him to keep him, grounded, and he's got great parents, and he's got great group of parents, with Noah's dad and mom and everybody and all just the Polynesian culture, keeping those guys and this team, the culture on this team is they keeping people humble and just working for the next play, working for the next game, working for the next the next thing. Don't forget about what just happened and just keep on grinding. And that's what I think this team is going to be able to do.
Now, just to kind of go back into the history books on what Brent Brennan said there, and Brandon Cooks had two 200-yard. He never went over 300, but he had two 200-yard receiving performances in his career. 9 for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns at Utah. 13 for 232 yards at California and 1 touchdown. So Brandon Cooks did it against Power Fives on the road. That's what you want to see next from a Tetsuo McMillan, for him to be able to do it on the conference level, have a game like that, and do so maybe whether it's at home or on the road.
Absolutely. That's where we have to have it. We got to have it in those big games against Kansas State next week, the Utah game. That's going to be huge. We need the big guys to become big on the big games. They got to be able to produce on those games. And and I think these guys are ready and prepared for it, are excited about it. And you just really I think they're not nervous about it, cuz I think these guys they just seem so calm. When I'm sitting on the sideline and I'm watching these guys, I just love the demeanor of business. They got a lunch pail. That's what they're doing.
We're going to have Kelvin slide in a little bit, so he's on the shot there, gets himself some camera time. Kelvin Ifan, the captain, 1998. Kelvin just talking a little bit about Tetsuo McMillan's performance, kind of wrapping things up on that, and just the yards after catch, and Brent Brennan comparing it to Brandon Cooks, who's carved out a pretty nice name for himself at the next level after a solid career here in the Pac-12.
I just want to say one thing. I admire you for going and staying with your son and making sure that you're there for your son.
Yeah.
And that's what good fathers are supposed to do. And I applaud you, brother, for coming in. You rushed here, and that's what you're supposed to do.
You got your Falcons. You got your
Falcons.
That's
shirt
Tucson
on.
Falcons. That's Tucson Falcons.
I'm telling you, you have to be. There's nothing better looking on the sideline and seeing your pop there.
Yes, sir.
And that's awesome, man. And I really respect you. For
so
that,
did we win today? Did we win?
We did get the dub. Man. I think we won by 4 touchdowns.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay,
nice.
Nice.
How many did my boy get?
He didn't get one today, but he at least had about 60 yards on about 6 carries.
There we go. Not bad.
Okay,
That's 10 per carry. We'll take that. That's 10 yards a carry. Nothing wrong with that. Kelvin, just your thoughts on T-Mac.
Man, I mean, I thought it was just an amazing game from T-Mac. As you said earlier, the run after catch, he did a magnificent job, almost 200 yards, run after catch. I felt like the defense was doing him a favor, playing him one-on-one, sometimes not even covering up over him, playing a zone with a guy like that. I think he better really enjoy that last game because I don't think he's going to get too many other games like that. I was thinking to myself, like, man, you know, your first game of the year, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. I said, man, that's going to be tough, you know, to outdo that the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're calling it now yards after catch. We're calling it T-Yak.
T-Yak.
Okay. Tetaroa yards after catch for sure. All right, it is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show, and that is our first look. Well, let's hear from Brent Brennan on the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks coming to town today.
Anytime you play one of these games, it's always complicated. You know what I mean? Because for their roster and their team, it's obviously a really, really big game. And for our roster and our team, it's a big game, but it doesn't feel the same as a Big 12 game. You know what I mean? So I think that's just me being honest. And so making sure our players understand the importance of that, because every team you line up against now in college football can beat you. It doesn't matter. It's every single team you line up against, every single week. I really think this is about us, how we approach it, how we attack it. I think we've had a great week of practice, and now it's about lining it up and playing the game.
That's our first look at the game, brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, last week we had rain. This week we've got wind. Windy day out here on the U of A Mall. Make sure your tents are secured so they don't go flying. We don't want tents flying around the mall here. Coming up, we'll have the offensive scouting report. We'll delve into the power running game that emerged in the fourth quarter for the Arizona Wildcats. Plus, we'll hear from Bobby Wade on T-Yak. In the How with Huddle today is
Ron Byer.
The tight end.
The first ever first-team all Pac-10, Pac-12 player in University of Arizona history.
Nice.
He was the first one. He was a first-team all Pac-10 tight end, and he only had 24 grabs that year. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of respect. And then that year that USC was the national champion.
Yeah, and in the captain's corner today.
Yeah.
We have none other than the legendary, maybe the best wide receiver in school history, Dennis Northcutt.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah.
A little bit
okay,
about
there we go.
T-Mac and what everything that's going on. But what better guy to talk about receiving and yards after the catch than Dennis Northcutt?
All right, Dennis Northcutt coming up. The former Cleveland Brown in the corner today with the captain. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show. This is our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football. Much more straight ahead, along with Kelvin Efon and Glenn Howe. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour one of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polson Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style. And top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires. And right now, we've got more rebates and savings than ever. Now's the time to buy. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the details. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Joel McHale, live.
It was colder in Winnipeg than it was on Mars. What did the people of Winnipeg do when it was colder there than Mars differently? Nothing. They sent their kids to school. They were just like, run!
As seen on Netflix, Friday, October 18th, 8 p.m., Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Sahuarita. Tickets on sale now at the Rewards Center or online at etix.com. Don't miss Joel McHale, live.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services.
About 30 seconds.
18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan.
Here's the snap. Handoff goes to Conley. Right side. Got the first down and more. He breaks it. He's gone. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The exact same play that he scored on earlier. He had a lead blocker in front of him, blows a hole open, and Conley just goes literally untouched for off the power play for the touchdown.
How about the hat trick for Conley tonight? 3 touchdowns, and the Wildcats are up 54-31.
Yeah, and they went on to win it 61-39 over the New Mexico Lobos last Saturday. Quali Connolly, 10 carries, 92 yards, had the 3 touchdowns in his Arizona Wildcats debut after transferring from San Jose State. He and his partner, Bill, had 110 yards as well, and he got into the end zone.
Roski Merritt back in as the running back
I got the offensive scout open too.
Big hole. He's to the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arizona.
That line just parted on the left side, and Krosky Merritt exploded through there. And that's the way you finish out a game. Arizona in the fourth quarter and the third quarter have run the ball very effectively and pretty much put this one away, I think, with that one there.
So Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, the former Lobo, scores against his former team, puts the Wildcats up 61-39 with 2:24 to go.
4 touchdowns on the ground between the two running backs. Let's talk about that in our offensive scout today.
Here is the Wildcats offensive scouting report for today's game.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
And guys, they really showed in that second half just the versatility of this offense, being able to hit with all those passing yards with T-Mac in the first half, but then being able to go back to the ground in the second half and take better control of the game, because we had talked about how the drives were all so quick, but they were able to put together some lengthy drives, an 11-page touchdown drive there at the end with 2 guys combining for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely. I like the way Coach Oglesby, he's from Wisconsin,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you know what they do? They line it up and say, "Here we come, here we come. We're gonna bulldoze our way all the way through to the other side of the field." And I love the way that he is getting that mentality that he wants us to be bruisers up in front, and we're not finesse blockers. We're grinding it out.
And, you know, and I loved, you started out with the pass game and kind of loosen them up, because, you know, at the beginning of the game, it's tough to run the ball a lot of the time, because they have 8 in the box. Sometimes they put 9 in the box, so it's tough. So you kind of loosen them up a little bit with T-Mac and came back in the second half and finished them up. And I think that's, you can see the head coach Brennan, I'm messing up his name. Coach Brennan, you can see him putting his mark on this team, because back in the day, we didn't have a power running game. We didn't have a running game in the second half a lot of time to go to, and they had a running game that they can go through with that offensive lineman and these type of running backs that can run physical inside. I thought that was a great plan there. 23 carries for 196 yards, 8.5 basically carries yards a carry. That's magnificent. We'd love to see them build on that today.
Absolutely. Afterward, won Quali Connolly on the double tandem of he and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Ja'Cory, like me and Ja'Cory, just like brothers. So like every time he eat, I'm happy. Every time I eat, he's happy. So it's just all love going all around.
And you like to hear that right there, guys, because again, these are 3 guys that have just kind of come in here when you throw Kedrick Riscano into the mix. 3 new guys. They don't know much about each other, and they've been kind of put into this thing together and all competing for the same thing. But knowing that, hey, if things go this way, there might be a piece for most of us in this offense.
Yeah, and I think that's good. It's good, and Kelvin, you can talk to this too. Is how it's good to have competition in the room.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know, you gotta every day you're thinking about what am I gonna do in practice today that's gonna be really good, because you got to say, man, I got to show the coaches that I can play on Saturday. So you got to do that. That's what it was when I was playing tight end. Every practice was important, so that attitude, that competition makes you have better practice. Therefore, you're going to play better on Saturday.
And a lot of time at the running back position, you go down a lot. We run the ball.
Yeah.
11 guys are diving on top of you, coming for your legs. Different things happen. You want to have 2 or 3, even 4 guys up and ready that you can depend on and trust, okay? So I think we got a couple other guys that I think going to even play well too. But right now, having 2 senior running backs that understand how to take care of the ball and run physical inside the tackles, because both of those plays were inside the tackle. I think one of them bounced, but in between the tackles, it really puts pressure on that defense to get ready and to have to build a defense to have to protect inside out.
Yeah, and also let's not forget about Speedy Luke, man.
Yeah, that's why I said 4 guys.
Speedy's going to get his. It's just about patience. We're only 1 game down, so people don't panic. And I hope Speedy's not panicking because he's going to get his shot. He's a solid back. He can do everything that all the other guys did. He's just got to be able to be a little bit better blocker on the pass, on the pass protection.
But Glenn, you know this. The reality, and DK, you know the reality of it too is that you have packages for a reason, and he's not a guy that you should have in trying to block a quarterback. I mean, a DN or a linebacker. Right. When he's in the game, I'm releasing him.
Yeah.
I'm running him on a passing route, trying to get him matched up on a linebacker or a safety, and see if they can run a 4-2. Okay, right. Just like they did. They snuck him in the game. They snapped the ball. They got him a screenplay, 21 yards in a matter of a blinking of an eye. So it's just a matter of everybody just play your role. Football is a game of role and guys coming together and to play together. So he just has to keep doing his job.
All right, we'll get more back into the run game coming up later in the show. The emergence of Caden Luke from Canyon Del Oro High School. We'll talk a little bit about that straight ahead as well. Want to get back, though, to T-Mac, or should I say T-Yak. Bobby Wade on that was all in the plan for the advancement of Tetero McMillan.
His finishing. I really challenged him this offseason when I had the opportunity to go back and watch all of his games, went back and watched all of his practices, and that was one of the major things that I emphasized with him was finishing with the football in his hand. I think that was the next step for him to be able to show the guys on the next level that he has that capability to be able to get the ball, make a guy miss, and not only that, but trust his speed and run past people. And he was able to put that on the film. And that's who I know he is. That's where his capability is at. And, I was super proud of him really pushing that point.
Man, before we get to Tetero, and I want to focus on something that Bobby said there, and I've heard him say it a couple times, and I really like it. Like he talked about, I went back and watched all his
practices. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
He said the same thing about Jeremiah Patterson when they were recruiting him. He said, I watched all of his reps, and I'm thinking, man, this dude is detailed about the way he goes about evaluation.
He was a pro, man. A pro. He's telling you how to be a pro. This is what we're so fortunate to have Bobby Wade here.
And you know this. You practice how you play.
Yeah, exactly.
You practice how you play. So
totally
if I'm gonna watch
that.
your practice to see who you really are, more so than your game film. Some people pop up for the game and be able to make a few plays, but you really are who you are at practice.
And then when we look at the offensive line, there was a lot of shuffling down there. We had an injury in game with Rhino Tapatotai. Jonas Savianaya had to show his versatility. We saw him obviously start the game on the right side. Then he went over to left tackle. Then he went back to right tackle on that last touchdown of the ball game. Just like a Swiss Army knife is Jonah on that offensive line.
That's showing his versatility.
Yep.
Yeah, he's so special. He started as a true freshman at guard, moved to right tackle last year, and then obviously moved to left tackle when Rhino went down. So just his versatility, his swagger, and his confidence. He's never afraid to do what needs to be done for the team. And I think him being an offensive lineman, he doesn't get as much attention as he should, but at the end of the day, he is a first-round draft pick, and he's been that way since he arrived on campus. So that is just a blessing to have him protecting us.
Nothing wrong with versatility, Glenn. We were talking last night, watching that game last night, and Jordan Morgan playing the guard position right now, which he probably hasn't played that since his sophomore year here.
Yeah, if you're that good, you can play anywhere. You can even put it in between your legs. Those are the guys that are they're valuable. Those are the guys that get paid. Those are the guys that the coaches feel comfortable with. If you're moving around, coaches feel comfortable about you. Yes. So otherwise, they hate putting you because there's a guy on the field. Usually, his name is a coach killer, and if you put him in and he makes a mistake at the wrong time, that could be your job. So you got to be able to evaluate kids and make sure they're prepared and feel comfortable putting them in.
All right, Matthew Latto went in there to the guard or the tackle position again. Played both sides when they were switching. Jonah, he went in at the left tackle position, then flipped over to the right as well. Noah on the youngster, a true freshman, getting that opportunity down front.
I didn't get touched once he was in, so the big thing was him coming in, just giving him confidence, making sure he knew that we trusted him, and making sure that he just had fun. So he had a great camp. He's done a great job ever since he's been here, worked extremely hard through all the summer conditioning and fall camp. So it's nice to see hard workers get rewarded.
And you know what I said? I said, to me, Josh Oglesby, if I was giving out the game balls to coaches, I think it would be him, because he has just done a tremendous job with all the maneuvering he's had to do. No Raymond Polito, no Leif Magnuson for most of training camp. Rhino goes down in the first game, but he's still found ways to make this work so far. Michael Wooten also out.
But the thing is, and that's where I feel like we definitely made an upgrade. Nothing against the former coach from last year, offensive line coach from last year. But I think we made an upgrade there, because he's been a professional offensive lineman coach, right, for some years. So I think that's one of the places that we made an upgrade in the coaching staff is on the offensive line for sure.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Noah just saying that stuff, that kid hears that. He hears that from Noah Fafita.
Right.
He's going to be like, I'm going to protect my brother here. I'm going to make sure that he goes, I didn't get touched.
Well, I'll say evidently he already know it,
Yeah.
because he protected him that whole game.
Yeah,
so that
absolutely.
Has already been built in him.
Absolutely. And if your man, the guy that's running that offense is telling you, I believe in you, that's a boost for a freshman, man.
Sir.
Not easy for a true freshman to go into a situation like that, says Brent Brennan.
He's a really neat young man. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. He's really grown a lot in that body, kind of in the last 7 months. So that part of it is like part of his developmental process. Every freshman wants to play. I think the hard part is that there's just a developmental process to getting good at college football, and so sometimes when a freshman has to play early, it accelerates that development, but there's some tough lessons in there. And, I'm sure that we're going to do everything we can to bring him along the right way. But there's going to be some tough moments for him. It's just the nature of it. You're going against guys that are 4 or 5 years older than you, and guys that have been playing for at least that long and, have more experience on this level.
All right, that's the head coach, Brent Brennan, talking about the true freshman, Matthew Lado, out of Glendale Apollo High School, 6'6", 292. That's your offensive scouting report for today.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet, get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, coming up, we're going to go inside the huddle. In the huddle with Hal. Ron Byer, the U of A tight end, class of 1978, will join us. Brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Ron Byer, straight ahead. I'm David Kelly, along with Kelvin Ifan and Glenn Howe. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
All right, guys, we got about 30 seconds till the open. Ron is on hold.
All right.
Standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic. Good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic offers military discounts to retired and disabled veterans. And they now accept patients with Access Insurance. For more information and to find the location nearest you, visit firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care.
First Chiropractic. Good health is to enjoy.
Yep.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Efon. Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985. Our guest today is the first team all Pac-10 player. I'm talking about player. The first time player has ever made all Pac-10, tight end Ron Byer, class of 1978. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Glenn. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for coming on. A little background with me and Ron. I've known Ron for years. He was, when I was playing here, because, Ron has been around Tucson for a while, and and full disclosure, I trained his daughter, Britt Byer, who was a great athlete here at Catalina Foothills. Went on to play in college, and he's, it's just great that you had some time to cut in your day and be able to talk to us today. How's it been going, Ron?
Well, it's going pretty good. And first of all, I cannot say thanks enough for having me on. I completely appreciate it. It's really good to hear your voice again, too.
Yeah, it's good to hear yours, too. Tell us about what you did after you left University of Arizona.
Well, gosh, after I left there, I had a career as a manufacturing engineer at a local company, and that went for about 40 years, 4 decades, and I've been retired now for the last 4 years. So I've become a snowbird, and I think after spending 44 consecutive summers in Tucson, anybody would deserve to be a snowbird.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky enough to be able to get to that. So I play a little golf. I'm in the state of Michigan now, and I spend days beaching and playing pickleball, and do some sailing. I spend time in the winter visiting out west, the family, and visiting Britt. And in retirement, I have not been bored a single day. It's been an exciting life. I'm a lucky guy. I'm a fortunate person.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, so I mean, I got 4 great kids. Britt's 27, as you mentioned. Britt's 27, and my eldest is 41, and they're all great athletes in their own right. My eldest she was a swimmer at Catalina Foothills, and she wound up going to West Point, and so she branched aviation, trained as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and did 3 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan while she was active. So they're all special kids. I love them all.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you for her service, man. We want to say thank you for her service there. Yeah, we're talking to U of A tight end Ron Byer is our guest in the Huddle with Howell, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. So, Ron, everybody has a story. We always talk to our guys when they come back and tell us the story of how they got to Arizona. Tell us about first of all, where did you play high school ball at?
I played high school ball at Lyons Township High School in LaGrange, Illinois. That's west suburban Chicago. And that was a great experience in its own right. I remember that when the recruiting process started my junior year, the coach up there at LT, he would say things like, these schools come in and talk to you, and they all want you to come out and visit and so forth. And he said, limit yourself to 5 visits, because back in those days, you could go on any number of visits. The NCAA had not swooped in to be the be-all controller and policing of it like they are these days. Of course, now they're losing some of that grip, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, anyway, Mike Hankwitz, Coach Hankwitz.
Oh, yeah.
He was our interim head coach after when John Makovic got fired back in the early 2000s. So he was the recruiter. He was the guy that came to my school and did the bulk of the recruiting work, and I liked Coach Hankwitz right off the bat. He showed me the slideshows of the campus and the palm trees and all that and the mountains. And then one of the slides one day had a snowstorm. The campus was in snow.
Oh, my gosh.
And somehow that really spoke to me because that's where I lived, in a place where it snowed. So I still didn't get it that it was hot there in the summer.
You were a little surprised when it was 110.
Yeah, well, back then it wasn't, but now it is.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, back then it was only 107.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I flew out to Tucson on an old airline called TWA, and a lot of listeners might remember that. Yeah. So TWA, and they flew into Tucson International, and back in those days, they wheeled the stairs up to the plane. So I'm walking out of the plane, and I got my coat, my hat, and my scarf on, and it's January 31st. So it's 65, 70 degrees, and it's sunshiny, and I'm like, oh gosh, I could have signed right there and turned around and gone back on the next plane, and I would have gone to Arizona.
Yeah. What other places were you getting recruited by?
I went to the other trips were to Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan State, and Iowa State.
Yeah. Was Muddy Waters there when you were at Michigan State? The head coach?
He was not. Oh, gosh darn it. The coach that was there wound up getting in trouble in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
– It was not – It was not Coach Waters. I can't remember his name, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were all interesting experiences. Every trip that I made, as the trips went, then that's the school I wanted to go to. That's the school I would have committed to. So, like, the last school that I went to was kind of like that's where I was going to go. And it just so happened to be Arizona. Of course, it was just an unbelievable trip and an unbelievable experience. I'd never been to Tucson, didn't know about Tucson, didn't know about living out in the mountains and living out where they didn't really have winter time. So it was quite the experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're talking to U of A tight end Ron Byer is our guest in the Huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser's serving Arizona for over 25 years. So, Ron, thinking about back when you got in there, you're getting to the University of Arizona, you're going through camp, you're at your first camp in Arizona, and then you actually get into the game. What do you remember your first play and who it was against?
I do not.
You don't?
You sent that question.
Yeah.
You sent that question. I'm like, okay, who was it? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it was on a kickoff. It was on a kickoff return. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
The first game was that season. It was the 1975 season, and it was against Pacific, and we won the game, I think, 16-0. And so I was on the field for the kickoff returns, and I might have got in a play or two. But so I'd have to go with it was Pacific back then. I remember a couple other incredible games at Arizona Stadium that season. We played New Mexico of all teams, and early in the season, and that was a conference opponent back then because we were in the Western Athletic Conference.
Yes.
So we played New Mexico, and their quarterback was Steve Meyer, and ours was Bruce Hill, and it was one of those aerial circus kind of games. And New Mexico won the game 44-34. Imagine if something like that happened last Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was kind of wild. I don't remember getting into that game. Another game that was terrific was when we hosted Texas Tech. So we've played Texas Tech a lot of times. And we're going to start playing them again here in the Big 12 schedule. I'm not sure. Do we have them this year?
Yeah, we do. We do play them Texas.
Okay.
We do play Texas Tech. It's actually here. We play them.
And it is here?
Yeah.
So back then, yeah, we played them, and they usually whooped us. And so they came in that season in 75, and it was a nip-and-tuck game down to the end. And we won the game on the last play, a field goal by a kicker named Lee Pister.
Oh, yeah.
And he, tied his toe up, tied his toe curled back up with, a string that went back behind his ankle and held up the front of held up the toe end of his shoe.
Wearing a Riddell, probably wearing a Riddell square toe.
And kicked straight on.
Yep, absolutely.
He was not a soccer-style kicker.
Yep.
So that was some crazy stuff. And there were some great games like that. I remember we went to El Paso and played UTEP, and we won that game 36-0. And then the last game of the season, we went up to ASU, and that was kind of a controversial game with a couple of calls, as as we probably both experienced with them. But anyway, so that was as far as my games and some of those memories. I that freshman year we went 9-2, so that was a big deal. I remember getting over being homesick that semester. That was huge. And I've always considered that I'm a U of A person. So it's not like my memories of the U of A are only when I was at the U of A or on the football team. Mm-hmm. They're about all the other things since then, like the Fiesta Bowl win over Miami, the Holiday Bowl win over Nebraska, and I went to the Hula Bowl my senior year, and that's where I met Coach Dick Tomey for the first time.
Oh, really? Really? Okay.
Yeah. And so Dick Tomey was the kind of guy that 8 years later, when he became the coach at Arizona, I walked in his office, and he remembered me right off the bat, first name and last name, and said, sticks out his hand to shake hands. How you doing? Welcome to campus. Welcome to my office. Glad to see you. That's the kind of guy Dick Tomey was.
Yeah, that's why everybody loved him, man. That's why Coach Tomey was a great person before he was a coach. Yeah,
he was. He really, really was, and I miss him. And I thought, he had that fabulous 12-1 season for us. And I remember being at that UCLA game, the one loss we had that year, that basically cost us going to the Rose Bowl. And then the other thing was Rich Rod. I remember I was at the game against ASU when Rich Rod was the coach, and we won our first Pac-12 South title.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great game. That was a great
that game. I cried when that game was over. I was so happy. It was just tears of joy. Tears of joy.
Yeah, you know what? I've talked to a lot of guys that have cried on that game when they were at that game, watching that game. I talked to a lot of guys that said, "Man, we just won the Pac-12 South," and we cried. There was a lot of former players that were crying that day because we won the Pac-12 South.
finally got over it.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
finally got over the hump.
Absolutely.
I think that was like the 2000. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. So, and now we embark on this new journey, and it'll be really, really interesting to see what it's like going through the Big 12, not only in football, but certainly in basketball, since it's such a tough basketball league as well.
Absolutely. We're talking to U of A tight end Ron Byer as our guest in the Huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. So, Ron, if you saw our game, did you see our game last week? Were you able to see?
I've seen most of it.
Yeah, what do you think about our guys this year and the guys that were coming back? I know you were following us last year. So what do you think of our 2014? What do you think? What's your projection, and what do you think about them, these guys this year?
Well, I think, as you know, every year is a new year. And to, say that, the prognostications, the season opening, the first poll of the year, and we get ranked based on what we did last year, and the fact that we had a lot of guys coming back, and we have some key guys back, as everybody saw last week, with the tremendous game from Noah Fafita and T-Mac.
Yep.
And now we've got a new coach and a new conference, and who the heck knows?
Yeah.
I think in terms of 9 or 10 wins, I'm not so sure that's going to happen, and I wouldn't bet on it. I've got to see a little bit more. I don't know Coach Brennan, and I know that he's a Dick Tomey disciple and worked with Tomey and coached with Tomey and so forth. And so I think he's the right dude at the right time for now, considering what happened with Washington last year, stealing our coach away.
Yeah.
I couldn't wish them more pain and sorrow this season. By
Yeah,
the way.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenge might be the defensive line, because we lost everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all the points last week, I didn't study it enough to see what was up with that. But one thing that occurred to me was Jacob Manu needs to get from sideline to sideline, and he needs these defensive linemen in front of him to keep guys off of him.
Absolutely.
To keep blockers off of him and let him get sideline to sideline and do his thing.
Right.
I think that's going to be the biggest or one of the bigger keys for our team this season. We proved we could score points. I know that NAU won 66-6 last week, but I don't know, they played somebody that we've never heard of.
Yeah, they played Lincoln University. They're out of Oakland. They're actually like a club team. Yeah, they're almost like a club team. So they weren't that good. So
I guess we've got NAU right where we want them then, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Thinking, oh yeah, we're pretty good, huh? We're pretty good. We beat up on Lincoln.
Yep. So I think I agree with you. I think that we need to shore up a little bit on the defensive line and make sure that those guys are playing a little better. And I think that first game they're just feeling themselves, because I saw a little bit of the guys, a couple times going into the wrong gap on twists and stuff, where guys going in the same gap. Those things will get cleaned up. I think Coach Aquino will get those cleaned up for it, and I'm looking forward to a really good season here. And I'm thinking my prediction is 8 wins for sure. Everything after that is gravy. That's what I think.
I completely agree with you on that one. Yeah.
So I think that would be great. Well, Ron, you know what? We thank you very much for coming in. I want to our thanks to Wildcat alum Ron Byer for coming and joining us in here in the Huddle with Hal. And Ron, I hope to see you here at one of our games, and we can, get to talk a little bit, maybe have a cocktail or something, and we'll see each other. And best to the family, and thanks a lot for coming on.
Glenn, I can't say thanks enough. I appreciate it. I will see you when I get back next month, and we'll get on to some things and get our social going and go from there.
Right on, Ron. Bear down.
Bear down, Glenn. Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
And coming up, we'll have our second hour from out here on the U of A Malls Arizona Game Day pregame show. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polson Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
For your tire and auto care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires. And right now, we've got more rebates and savings than ever. Now's the time to buy. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the details. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
As coach of the Wildcats, I know the importance.
Intro in 1 minute. We got the longer intro here.
It's the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Is your AC system more than 10 years old and costing you too much in repairs? Beat the heat, call Rightway. Get a new system with 10-year parts warranty, 10-year labor warranty, and 60 months no interest financing. Make replacing easier on your wallet. Call today.
Don't delay. Call or text 520-657-0699. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law
30 seconds.
35 years, Goldberg and Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg and Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg and Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado.
Noah straight back to throw. Got him in. Hot! Touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Air down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to kick off on Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back out here on the U of A Mall, how about the performance last week by Genesis Smith?
Dampier looking to throw, looking to run.
Just check your texts, please.
Manu, set by Manu, still turns, now he throws, and now it's picked off. Wildcats intercepted, and they'll take over the football at the New Mexico 44-yard line. How about that? G-Man.
Genesis.
One of two interceptions on the ball game last week for the Arizona Wildcats, Genesis Smith and Trayton Stukes. Let's take a look at the Wildcat D as they head into the game tonight against Northern Arizona.
Let's look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. The Cats with the ball. They pick it up. They'll take over at midfield.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, things did not go the way that the Wildcats wanted them to go in the first half of that game last week. The New Mexico Lobos offense came out ready to play with Devin Dampier at quarterback. They were playing toe-to-toe with the Wildcats through the first 30 minutes of that ball game. So what was the message at the half, Brent Predin?
The biggest thing I talked to them was just stop worrying about the outcome and worry about right now. Stop looking at the scoreboard. Just play football. It's like we had a game tonight, that's how it is. It's everyone can play. Right? Some teams are better than others. Some teams have better players than others, but everybody can play. Everybody lifts weights and everybody's got good coaching and so I thought they had a good plan. I thought they executed really well, and then I thought in the second half we made some good adjustments and the guys rallied and came together and played for each other, and the result was good.
You know, it's interesting, guys. We always talk about, I think, going into camp, how the defense maybe has a little bit of an upper hand on the offense, but I think when you actually get to the games, it's the other way around, because the defense nowadays, especially in college and the pro game, really doesn't tackle much in camp.
And I'll tell you this, especially when you're going against a team that already had a game and something to prove the game before. So they already ready in tackle mode. They going all the way to the ground. And think about it. When was the last time our starters played against other starters?
Yeah. Right.
When was the last time they had full tackle? So that's the first time that happened. So you kind of expect a little bit of bad tackling. I think in my keys to the game I talked about tackling, because in the first couple games you always see a little problem with wrapping up and getting guys down. As our caller said earlier on your interview, our linebackers have to play better. They have to get to the ball and they have to get guys down.
And another thing is, there's a couple of guys on that offensive team that you can't touch. So you're a defensive guy and you're like, I can't touch him, otherwise I might lose my scholly. So that's a little unnerving. I would think, as a defensive guy. Wouldn't you think so?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You worry about hitting the quarterback or hitting somebody with your helmet.
Exactly. You got that jersey on, you can't touch them. And you're trying to play really good defense against those guys.
Trayton Stukes talked about the performance in game one.
We just kind of settled into the game, I think. There were some new pieces out there. Everyone was all excited for the first game. And then, when some stuff doesn't go your way early, sometimes guys get a little in their own head trying to make plays that they're not supposed to make and stuff. So I think we just calmed ourselves down, try to remember who we were, just get back to doing our own job and, playing our game.
Dalton Johnson on game one.
Yeah, I'd say we really just adapted the, next play mentality, just try and flush any, mistakes that happened in the first half and just, like Stu said, just calm down and just, play ball and have fun.
And, guys, when I went back and looked at the tape again, in terms of the secondary, I thought they were there on a lot of those pass plays.
Yeah,
I'm just giving Devin Dampier his flowers for putting the ball into Luke Weissong where only he could catch it.
Yeah.
I didn't think the coverages were that bad.
I tell you what, the transition from the game 1 to game 2 that Dampier made was leaps and bounds.
Right.
That boy was like long jumping.
Yeah.
Okay, he was seriously like getting. He changed because he was throwing balls in the ground.
But Glenn, when you got a chance to play against Cal, right?
Yeah.
It's the same for him. He got a chance to play against Arizona or Arizona State.
Yep.
He's going to come with a whole nother level of play, and we predicted that before the game. And and he brought it a little bit, and I said it. I said I want our guys to go against that. I love that our guys had to go against a running quarterback because guess what we're going to see with Kansas State?
Yes, exactly.
Guess what the problem is going to be? A guy that's way better than this young fella that we played, Devin Dampier.
Yep.
So they needed that tape so they can know that they have to get better or we won't have a chance against the Kansas State. Not skipping over NAU, but just saying when you're dealing with those running quarterbacks, dual threat type of guys.
Absolutely.
Trayden Stukes feels like the defense will be better in game 2.
We know we didn't play up to our standard. We set a high standard for ourselves. And, we were hoping to play better than that. But, that's football. That's life. So, we just got back in the room. Coaches are pressing us to do our job, execute it at a high level, bring effort every day, focus in, get ready for the next one.
And the one thing that I want to see from the guys, especially
Tacario Davis.
is not getting so frustrated.
Yeah.
Not getting frustrated. It's your first game. Relax, calm down, get to the next play. That's what we always talk about. Next play. And I just felt like some of the DBs, linebackers, guys were a little chippy, and they was letting things carry over into the next play. And to be a championship level team, we got a long time to go before we start talking about championship. But to be a championship level team, you have to watch out for those little things, those blocks in the back, those little penalties, the holdings, the personal fouls that end up ruining offensive and defensive stops and plays for you. So I just think it's going to be very important for them to really lock in on those little mental things and not make them, affect us in the game.
And look, the coaches told Tacario, we want you to be more physical out there, and that's fine. He hit hard.
He did.
He made some hard hits. Make the hard hit and get up and walk away. You don't have to make the hard hit and then get in the guy's face.
The best hard hits is when you hit somebody and you get up and you go away. Because then they're thinking, what? He just knocked the heck out of me. And you know who used to do that I remember that used to do that all the time is in high school is Jack Del Rio. He would knock your block off and he would just get up, walk away, and then just turn around. And then just get back in the huddle.
He didn't do that in the pros, though.
No. He run his mouth. But I'm telling you, but he used to do that in high school,
right.
And it was just like so intimidating to so many players.
You know what? I know what it was in high school. Did he play both ways?
Yeah, we all played.
Well,
both,
you didn't have the energy.
Yeah.
When you play both ways, you ain't got no time to be talking.
Yeah.
You got to save that energy, man. Trust me.
That defense, we gave up 73 yards the whole season on the ground, bro.
That don't sound right.
73 yards the whole season?
Yes.
What's that, 7 yards a
Holy
game?
mackerel.
Is that 7 yards a game?
On the ground.
Wow.
The whole season.
But I can believe it, though. Del Rio and you. And I've seen a couple
and
of
Don
those guys.
Wakamatsu. We had some ballers,
Donnie
man.
Waka,
Andy Miller. And, we had some guys.
All right, Brent Brennan, again, saying sometimes the defense needs a game or two.
The hardest thing to do during training camp is to play live football and to tackle and live, because you're just concerned about losing a good player in that and not getting them to the game. And I think that part of it is a hard part of it. I thought they settled down really nicely in the second half, forced a couple turnovers. The quarterback's a good player, right? He's super athletic, he's strong, he can throw it on the run, and so that's going to be a handful for anyone to contend with, And I thought they did good. I thought he did a good job. I thought New Mexico played well.
And like you said, Kelvin, they've got some guys like Kansas State, Jalen Daniels at Kansas, who are going to be mobile, and they're going to be in that same vein as what you saw with Devin Dampier. So some guys on the schedule that can do some of those similar things are coming up straight ahead. 13, I believe, defensive linemen were used in the game last Saturday night.
I like that.
Dwayne Aquina saying that, yeah, we're trying to throw everybody against the wall and see who sticks.
Yep.
Trying to keep defensive linemen fresh. We do believe we have I think I mentioned this before, we're encouraged with our defense front. So you want to develop some depth in that position because in this conference, unless it's changed from years gone by when I was last there, there'll be times they'll be playing 80, 90 snaps in a game, because of all the throwing game and all of that. We played 87 snaps this last game. That's a lot of football.
And one of those guys is Chuba Mae, and he's a transfer from UC Davis. And Chuba had to kind of he had to slim himself down a little bit from when he first got here on campus, and he kind of ran us through what he's done to try to get himself into playing condition.
I'm going to shout out to our strength and conditioning staff and our what's it called? Tanner, our health and nutrition. Well, he's no longer with us, but he left. I'm so sorry. It was thanks to them. They kind of set the blueprint for me, and I just followed the steps. I did what they told me to do. I ate what he told me to eat, worked out. Just extra work here and there, and then just cutting out the sugars. That has been the main thing. I drink mostly water every day, maybe 1 or 2 Powerades a day. Not a lot of sugars. Cutting out a lot of carbs. It's just I can still eat whatever I want. It's just portions. I just lost weight, put on a little bit of good weight, and then here I am now.
How much did you lose, and how do you feel?
Oh, since I've been here, I came in around 380. Right now I'm around 345, 350. I feel pretty good.
That's a lot. That's like
380. You paying property tax. You paying property tax on that, man. I mean, come on, man.
But I was watching him, man, and he's the type of guy that I love playing with.
Yeah.
Because he's just always happy-go-lucky, love to play physical. I mean, and just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Those are the type of guys I love. That's family atmosphere, man. I mean, they had him on. I think they had him mic'd up, and he was doing a little dancing and everything. Just
sticking
love,
his head in there.
Love football.
Yeah, exactly.
Love football. A lot of times you get big guys that don't quite love football. You get big, tall guys in basketball don't love basketball. But this is a guy that loved the game, and you see it oozing off of him. He loved being a big guy.
Well, and that's the thing. That's one of the things that Brent Brennan said is that we want to recruit kids who love to play football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead. He's coming on?
No.
Okay. Yeah. What I'm saying is that these guys, they have nutritionalists that are there for them. I mean, can you imagine if
he did so good that we lost him.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the joke at the top. It was like, Tanner, he's talking about Tanner Graves, who left to go to follow the rest of the crew to Washington.
I mean, you got to these kids got everything at their disposal, man. If you can't succeed here at this level, you got to check yourself in the mirror, man, because you have all the tools to be good.
Yes, sir.
Everything. You got strength and conditioning. You got great coaches. You got nutrition. You got food. You got all the food you want to eat and everything. And all you got to do is just give 110%, man.
All right, that is a look at the Wildcat defense heading into game number 2.
That's a look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. Here comes the rush again. He's sacked by Jacob Manu.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, still ahead, we're going to talk a little bit about Caden Luke, his performance last week, the true freshman walk-on out of Canyon de Oro High School, state champion ship up there with the Dorados last season, playing with Dustin Peace in his final year as head coach. We'll get your scoreboard. There was already a big win on the road in Power 5 today. Dennis Northcutt is going to join us in the captain's corner. We'll have our keys to the game, best bets, all of that straight ahead as we take you right up to 5:30. It is Arizona Game Day. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're here on the U of A Mall. Stop on by. Say hello. I've got tickets, actually. If you don't have tickets to the game, come by and get some tickets from me because I got the tickets right here if you don't. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills.
That was one of 3 touchdowns for Quali Connolly on the game last Saturday, a 61-39 victory over the New Mexico Lobos. The running backs took over, and that big run came right at the early part of the third quarter. That was the first collegiate play for one Caden Luke, a state champion wrestler, a state champion football player out of Canyon Del Oro High School, a young man, Glenn, that you have trained for years. And we just saw his mom walk by a little while ago as she's out here at the tailgate. Just what an experience for, again, there's so many kids that grow up here in southern Arizona that dream about being able to put on that Cardinal and Navy uniform. Not very many can actually get to do it. But he is the latest in that line, and being able to contribute on his first collegiate play and be a part really of 3 big touchdowns, getting in the hole, finding somebody to put a hat on, and making way for Quali Conley and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. A big time Saturday it was for Caden Luke.
Yeah, I think that he, the kid's been working, like I said. I've been saying this for weeks, and I even told, Coach, running back coach
Alonzo
Carter. I told him, I said, you better watch out for this kid, man. I said, he's coming in. I said, got a kid coming in. He's gonna force your hand, And I told him, I said, hey, man, the kid can play. He's a grinder. He's a kid that loves football. He just absolutely loves football.
Well, there you go again, a kid who loves football.
Yeah, and those you can't beat those kids, man. I mean, the kid was in the weight room. He would always be early to our workouts. He'd come in and I'd be training somebody else, and he's there 15 minutes early, getting ready to go. Coach, I'm ready to go. I'm already stretched out, ready to go. And those are the kind of kids that you want to be able to have on your team. And that's like a virus that spreads, and that's why all the kids love him. They respect him, call him Big Red.
And I'll add to that, you'll get kids that can come in physically ready to play.
Yes.
But like I know, Glenn, there's a test you have to take before every game. I was telling my little leaguers this. I said we have to take a test Friday night before the Saturday game, and if you don't pass that test with an A, you don't get to play. Yep. I was telling the kids about that. So what I was saying about Luke was this kid came in and learned the playbook. Yep. He learned the playbook as a true freshman. You will be surprised how many players that cannot play their freshman year because guess what? They can't learn more than one play.
Right. Yep.
So for this kid to learn the playbook and then fit up on his guy. Fit up on his guy means that he's square to his guy. He's not turning his butt into the running lane where the running back will trip over your legs or something. He's squared up to the guy and he's running him straight ahead and giving the running back a two-way go. The running back could go left of him or right of him. And so that's a great block. I was looking deeper than just the block, right? I was looking to make sure he was in the right position and so forth. The steps, right? Yep. Making that first initial step. Because if you step wrong, the lineman will get blowed up into you. So just to see him being in the right position and being able to carry his block through the right way with his hands inside, not holding, just doing the simple fundamental thing makes for a bright future. Because you know what's next, right? Yep. It's that fullback dive on the goal line.
Yep.
That's what's next because when you put a fullback in the game, the only way it's going to work is that they know that either he can get the ball on a run or that he can get the ball in the flat on a pass.
He slips out.
Right.
Exactly.
Or they're going to know that we're giving the ball to the running back.
Yep.
So the next thing is going to come is that they're going to have to make an adjustment and he's going to get a chance to get a ball.
Yeah, and now that gives the offensive coordinator, Dino, options.
Yeah.
Options. You can't look at this formation and say, hey, this is all we're going to do.
Right, yeah.
We can do other things because he can catch the ball. We did 100 balls every single workout.
Catching the
ball.
Catching the ball.
We worked out 4 days a week, 100 balls. That's 400 balls he was catching. Boom, boom. In between sets, we do it in between sets, and we wanted to get to a 98% rate catching the ball. And I was throwing – my arm got really good. My arm got really good because I started I guess the more you throw, I guess your arm gets better. I was throwing some rockets, throwing them all over the place. And he was just boom, 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 catching the ball. And that's what you need to do. And just the positioning. And I told him, I said, listen, you go to this next level. at high school, you can dominate a guy, do anything you want. He was doing stuff that was crazy in high school. I mean, just crazy stuff.
And I'll add to you, a special teams player.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to have those guys.
He's on kickoff return, too.
There it is.
And that's what you got to be able to do.
Let's hear from the guys that are running behind him. First, Quali Connolly.
We call him Big Red, and he just energetic. He just come out with juice, and every time he come in, we the whole offense just get pumped because he put in the work during practice in the weight room, and he's a freshman, state champion in wrestling. So just his presence helps the offense.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Mary adds to that.
I mean, I knew going into that game, those plays that he had called, he was going to make those plays because of how he practiced, the energy that he have, and just him being ready. He grew up a Wildcat fan. He have a little picture of him when he was younger in a Wildcat jersey. So he was just waiting on his moment, and when that moment came, he executed, and he just did it well.
And as a former fullback myself, I played a lot of fullback. To hear your running backs, senior running backs that been at a couple other places, these guys are well-traveled, talk about you like that is only going to make you go harder, only going to make him a better player, because I know he feels that way. He's protecting those guys. He's leading the way for those guys. He's been a tailback in high school over at CDO, so he understands how important it is to have a great fullback, because when you have a great fullback, a lot of times you don't need great blocks from your offensive line. You need that initial block from that fullback to help give you that little area where you can get somewhere. So hearing the senior and grad senior talk this way about an 18, 19-year-old. These guys are 24 years old, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
To hear them talking about a young guy like that, you're not going to hear them rave that much about freshmen the way that they did about this young fella.
Absolutely. And, we talked about, me and you, Kelvin, about the blocking from the running backs from Quali Connolly and Ja'Cory Krosky-Mary. What was the term, stoning?
Stone him, yeah, you stone him. And basically that is when somebody's running in there, you stop them in their tracks. I mean, and to me, a good running back, and I saw these guys, you attack them.
Yeah.
Basically, a running back, most running backs we played linebacker in high school.
Yes.
And that's the way you attack that defensive player. You attack them like you're going to tackle them. Of course, you don't want to do that. You'll get the hole. But when you take that aggression to that guy and be aggressive with him and you make that initial smack, it just takes something out of them every time that you do it. They seem to rush a little bit less and start wanting to do a little dance with you, DK. Because they know if they
put
come
the dancing shoes on. They start trying to avoid you.
Because they know if they run in there too fast, it could be lights out.
Yep.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Mary says he loves the blocking part of the game.
It always been a part of my game. Coach emphasized, you can't block, you can't get the rock. So if I see a guy coming and I know it's a passing play, you never know, that might turn to a touchdown pass. So I was like, we got to, that's just us being a family, not being selfish. If you know you got to do your job for somebody else to get open, then that's what we're going to do every time.
There you go. That's what you like to hear from that first-time Wildcat, Ja'Cory Krosky-Mary. Bill, 100 yards in his first game of the season. Looks like we got Chess B coming into the house.
No. Let me say this. Chester the Heart Tester. Chester the Heart Tester just showed up. I be telling y'all about him. I said that's the only time in my life I ever been hit hard. Only time in my life, baby. That's him. That's him right here, baby. That's him, baby. And speaking of him, we got to get him on with the linebackers. Talk about that linebacker flow, DK.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we had a little with the linebackers. I'm sure you saw that with the linebackers not getting to the, that first game jitters. Who best to talk about that than you? Because you understand that tackling, how tackling is in the first game. It's a little tough for the defense. Not for you, but for a lot of guys sometimes it's tough for them in that first game on that tackling. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, the first game you're trying to still work things out because you've been going against your own team the whole time. So you kind of get in the way of that the offense was running. But these guys, they'll get it together. I mean, Coach Akina, as you know, best in the business. He'll get these guys doing things, gap control, flowing to the ball. And I think especially when you get a mobile quarterback, they tend to get you undisciplined in situations. So that's a good test for the first game.
Yes.
So, we're going to face something similar later in the season. So it's a good test. It's okay. No reason to panic. And sometimes, you're going to need the offense to go out there and do that. I mean, especially some of these teams we're going to play, it's going to be challenging for the defense. I mean, so But how many teams are going to go be able to put up 60 against us, though, to beat us if that happens? So sometimes the best defense is a powerful offense.
Yeah. I will say, though, that Big 12 is known for the basketball-type numbers because that was a basketball game last week, 61-49. That was a good Pac-12 or a Big 12 basketball game. And in the Big 12, if you look at some of them offensive spread, they've been doing it for a while, and they score a lot of points. So I'm with you on that as far as the defense, and our team's going to have to figure out how to win those type of games. Because it's not going to always be the 14-7. I mean, it's going to be some games up in the 50-49, and you're going to have to persevere and get it done.
It's going to be a possession game, man. What you do with that possession. Possessions are going to be very, very valuable because if you don't score on that possession, it's just like it's going to be like arena football, indoor football. You don't score on that doggone possession, you're behind.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what it's going to be like. I'm telling you.
But who you going to put? What guy are you going to take in front of Noah Fafita on the country though?
Yeah.
To be in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then let's talk about his son, man.
Yeah.
His son he's changed. He has absolutely changed. I seen him. I was on the sideline watching him. He's run blocking like I've never. I mean, he's like man blocking. I was really impressed with how he's done. Tell me about his growth he probably must. You talk to him all the time. I think he's grown just as his attitude,
maturity,
the way his maturity.
Yeah.
I think when you get the opportunity to be with great tight end coaches, being with Powell for 2 years, actually almost in senior, you talked to him throughout his senior year in high school as well, and then you bring on Coach Atkins, which I don't think people understand how great of a coach he is. I mean, the guy is a technician. He's in the weeds with it. He's not a flashy, talk about things all the type guy, but he's so entrenched in the details and the footwork and the first couple steps, and it's what Kean needed. It's what he needed at the right time. I mean, the whole thing he got, I believe he learned about a lot that he could possibly learn from what Coach Powell was teaching him.
Yeah.
Like he could break down film with Coach Powell now, and he already knows what Coach Powell would say.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. But as far as him to continue to develop, I think that it's almost like it's time to put it into the next gear, and that's what Coach Atkins was able to bring to him.
His demeanor just getting to the line of scrimmage has changed. How he runs to the line of scrimmage, and he's confident, and he knows what he looks like. He knows what he's doing.
He was never in a three-point stance in high school, man.
That's what I'm saying. It just looks different. I was like, wow. I was like, he just totally looks different because before he would go there and he'd be like, maybe getting a little antsy in his stance. Now he's just relaxed, gets in his stance, looks around, and he's getting after it. I mean, I think it's totally different. That's what I observed. Well, and I'm glad that he's maturing. Now he's going to just grow.
It is. I mean, it's fun to watch him. It's fun to see him, his growth, his development. I mean, obviously you got to put that on tape on Saturdays, so that's what these game days are for. See how that works
absolutely.
out.
And I love that ball that he caught.
Yeah,
nice,
absolutely.
Over the shoulders, a lot of trust there. I told him we're going to need that, man. We're going to need that because we know. I mean, you're a defensive player. Would you triple T-Mac this week?
I mean,
I would.
That was probably a great thing how that happened. I mean,
yeah. Well, I told everybody that.
Yeah. Because now, I mean, you don't roll coverage. I mean, and he goes for another 300 on you. I mean, it's your fault now.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed what he could do. If you didn't believe in the offseason, you better believe it now.
You should get fired. If you go for another 300, somebody that defensive coordinator should be out of there that day. Because him.
Yeah.
Take him away. And what I was saying to that is that now your son is in position to be able to get some more balls because we're going to have to spread that thing out. We're not going to be able to just go to one guy and to be able to beat good teams.
And that's what you need. I mean, you need a guy in that position, whether if it's Kean, Sam, Berto, you need a guy in that position that's going to be able to take advantage of that because when you start getting that cover 4 look, that cover 2, I mean, the middle of the field, you got to own it. As a tight end, you got to be able to win in those spots. And, when I was here and playing linebacker, I mean, I had to cover Tony Gonzalez in those situations, and it was tough. But I did it when we played Cal, but that's where you really have to have a tight end that's going to be able to win. So it's a critical position. But that position, we get some growth out of that position just as a team, not Kean, just as a team. It's going to change the offense.
What I think is unfortunate for other teams is that not only we have T-Mac, we have Patterson, we have other receivers that are be able to Montana. We have all these different receivers that they have to be aware of.
Absolutely.
And then here comes the tight end. Before, Arizona didn't, you didn't think about, set for McLaughlin, last year. But now we have a tight end again that you have to be aware of. You have to be aware of because we can go down the seam. We can get the ball. He can get deep. We can actually get deep with our tight ends.
Exactly.
So that's puts a lot of pressure on the defenses, and I'm excited to see how they're going to do it. And Noah is so good at reading stuff and knowing how to put the ball where it's supposed to be. He is just, I mean, that's why I feel confident in what we're going to do in our passing game.
Absolutely. You got him at the head. I mean, it's hard to go wrong.
Yep.
You know? And then that running game. I mean, we got guys that can do a lot of different things. And then you throw Speedy into a situation. I mean, the offense is dynamic. You know, and when that thing hits on all cylinders, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, Dito's he could be going off like he had with you guys.
A lot of weapons, a lot of weapons to play with.
Yeah.
Chester, we appreciate you stopping by. We got to get to another great alum. Dennis Northcutt is scheduled to join us on the show. Best of luck, though, is on your guys' visit here into Keon tonight in game number 2.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Tell Dino I said what up.
Arizona linebacker. Let's wrap that up. We'll get to the scoreboard coming up a little bit later. We'll take a break here and get to our captain's corner coming up. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day show here from the U of A Mall, and you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Make Dave & Buster's a part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is trivia night with great prizes. Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on gameplay after 9 p.m. Stop in Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials. Want more? Rewards members will get an extra 100 chips with the purchase of 100 chips and Sunday sips for hospitality workers. Full and quick service restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks. Discounted beverages and apps after 9 p.m. only at Dave & Buster's.
As coach of the Wildcats, I know the importance of teamwork. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Is your AC system more than 10 years old and costing you too much in repairs? Beat the heat, call Right Way. Get a new system with 10-year parts warranty, 10-year labor warranty, and 60 months no interest financing. Make replacing easier on your wallet. Call today.
Don't delay. Call or text 520-657-0699. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before.
About 30 seconds, we got Dennis Northcutt on hold.
That rolled into the street from nowhere? At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires. And right now, we've got more rebates and savings than ever. Now's the time to buy. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the details. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. And now, here is the captain, Kelvin Ifan.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Ifan. Our guest today is Dennis Northcutt, a wide receiver and captain from the class of 1999 here at the U of A. Dennis, Dino, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
What up, Kelvin? Thanks for having me on again, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. Not much, man, watching this football today, man, and super excited for this season. Getting ready to watch the Arizona game this evening.
Yes, sir, man. Say, we T-Mac has been playing great football, and I just said to myself, I said, what better person to talk to than the person that I consider the best wide receiver in school history, guy that I played with, Dennis Northcutt. So I wanted to get you on, man, and make sure I talk to you a little bit, but I'm going to get to that a little bit later. First things first, man, tell me how your family doing, man. I know your son and your daughter are athletes. Tell us a little bit about that big shot that your son made to beat the team. Was it a team from Phoenix?
Yeah, it was a team from Phoenix, Arizona Unity, and it was Peach Jam, as you know, the biggest circus out there in AAU basketball, man. So they went down to Peach Jam, man, and they played in the finals on a very good basketball team. And, you know, one thing with training with my son, when you're professional, and, you know me, I was always did things the right way, prepared the right way, was always ready. And every time I work out with my son, at the end of every training session, and we work out every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning before you go to school. So when we train in the morning, when I get done, I'm always situational. The situational that don't come up in regular basketball games and regular football games. What happens when it's 4th and 3 and you're down by 7 and you got one timeout? You got one timeout. What you need a touchdown. As a point guard on a basketball court, you always got to know how much time on the clock. You always got to know how many timeouts you got. You got to know how much you down by. You got to practice these situations. So at the end of every practice, I literally take the ball out and I count it out. Give him the ball and I say 3, 2, 1, and he got to try to get as deep as he can and shoot it. So it's like he got to make 3 on the right, 3 in the middle, 3 on the left. And I do it from half court, from out of bounds, underneath the off the main basket. I'm always putting him in situations that I want his brain to think and he can be ready. Because as a point guard, that's what you have to do. So you know what? He was prepared for that moment, man. And I said, you practice 1,000 shots to make one.
Yes, sir.
And then you got to get some luck. Because even that one shot, when you're talking about a distance like that, don't mean it's going to go in. So you got to have the confidence. You got to be ready. And he was well prepared for that, man. I was so proud of him because I knew how hard he worked. I knew he worked on that shot. And he was ready. You could see from the moment he took the ball out, he was clapping his hands like, give me the ball. I got this. And, you know, that's what it's about, man. And, you know, I'm just proud of him. My daughter, her team was number 1 in the country volleyball, 12U, and she went down to Dallas, and they did, you know, they came up short in the finals. But, you know, my kids, man, I'm just trying to get back to them everything I've learned playing professionally, college, high school, junior high school, as they go along the way, man. And that's what it's about, being a parent. And not only the kids that I'm around, the kids I try to coach and get back to.
Man, you had me hyped up right there, man.
I know. I'm ready to go do a couple shots.
Hey, I'm sitting there hyped up, ready to go, man, to tell you. So, I know you familiar with this new staff here because we played for some of these guys back when we played. Tell me a little bit about Coach Babers. You played DB too over there for Coach Akina. You played defensive back. I remember they had me and you going both ways over there, and you played for Coach Akina too. Tell me a little bit of what you think about this new staff that they got in here with Coach Brennan coming here.
Well, like you just said, sometimes you get coaching staff that you don't know about. Like with Jeff Fish, I didn't know nothing about him, his coaching staff, because we just didn't know those guys. But when you have a familiar faces that's coming back, Coach Babers, Akina, two guys that we highly respected, that was a big help in us being what we were in 1999. And then you have Bobby Wade, who played in the NFL, who I definitely, helped mentor and brought along when I was a senior, when he was a freshman. Right. So we got guys down there that we know we can trust what they do. The first person I hit last week, when I know we're going to get on the subject, but when McMillan went for 304, I hit Dino Baker. I said, Dino, how do it feel? You coached the guy, you was a receiver coach, and coached the guy who set the record and held it for 22 years, 28 years, and now you calling plays for the guy that broke the record. I said, that's got to be a nice feeling. He's like, wow, I didn't even think about that part. I was like, but that's just what it's about. You got a good coaching staff, and now got to translate onto the field. Guys got off to a great start, and that's just what it's about, man. Bobby Wade's I know he know his thing, so he's doing a good job with the receivers. And just all around, we got a good quarterback, and I trust in the coaching staff. And it's I'm glad, they brought a familiar faces back, man, and the head coach. I didn't get to know Brennan too good, but of course, we played with his brother, right. And just knowing him over the years, coming to watch us, him coaching with Dick Tomey, I have all the faith and trust in him in the world to get the job done.
You just brought up Bobby Wade. That was one of my questions that I had for you. How important it is that he played the position at the highest level, was one of the top players, top receivers at the U of A. How important do you think it is in the development of with T-Mac and the other receivers having a guy like that?
They're very fortunate. They're blessed to have somebody like that. And that's in anything we do in life, right? I still get calls to this day to coach. And it's because you can't take what's in my brain. You can't take the years and the knowledge that I put in and to play at the highest level. That's what these kids are trying to get to. So you someone with a guy that has done it, who's, number one, played in college, what you're doing now, and it's been accomplished, successful. It's on the Wall of Fame up there. Also, you got a guy that played in the NFL, where you're trying to get to. So this is a guy that can help you get there, stay there, and help you understand what it's all about. That's very important, man. I always say you can't take away the mind and experience of what I know, no matter what happens. And that's anything we do in life. I love hearing guys who play the game talk about the game as commentators or coaches, because they know. When I talk about something, I go out and tell a kid. I see guys train kids sometimes, and I go out there and I say, hey, I'm not trying to steal your kid, and can I give them a few things because I tell them who I am, and they're like, sure, go ahead. And then when I give them some things, and it's like, wow, I didn't even think about that. I say, yeah, that's gonna cost you one day, and this is why. Often just a few little things that I can watch that they're doing that they may not have. And, and that's why sometimes you say you have bad trainers. Just like in AAU basketball. If you don't got a guy who's done it, like you train basketball, you play college ball. You was a big-time high school basketball player. You just chose football. You could have went basketball. You know the game. That's why you go out and coach these kids and give them the proper training because you've done it. So I think it's very huge when you have guys that have done it. And then experience. It don't always just got to be the guys. It's the guys, also the coaches who put in the time, put in the work, who have the experience. Like you said, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, Dwayne Akin, and Dino Baker, who both have over 30 years of coaching experience at the collegiate level. So these guys I'm very excited about. I'm happy for them guys. I can't wait to get back down there and be a part of it. I'm going to feel like family because we finally, we got some coaches down there that we're familiar with. So I'm excited for the guys, and I can't wait to see them get going tonight as well.
Yeah, I was hearing you about those coordinators over 30 years each. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm saying, so tell me a little bit. What did you think of that T-Mac's last game? 170 yards of what we calling that now? We're calling it
T-Yak. T-Yak. Teteroid yards after catch.
170, man. Tell me a little bit about what you saw from him and what did you see different about his game so far after just one game?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before last week, and I watched the whole game, I didn't know about him. I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot last year. My son, I was too busy. Him just getting to high school. I was doing a lot with my kids and going through some other stuff, and I just didn't get a chance to watch a lot of football. And so last week was the first opportunity I really got to watch him. My son knew who he was right back. He said, they got that good receiver, McMillan. I was like, who's that? He was like, wow, you gonna see he's good. I said, all right, I'm gonna check him out. And just watching, he's big, he's physical, he's separation, he got great route running, he's fast, he got great hand-eye coordination. You can throw the ball up. It's a quarterback's dream to have a guy like that you know you can trust,
He's not going to get you interceptions. He's going to be where you're supposed to be. Them guys been together since high school. So for those guys to have that chemistry and to be able to know each other that well, if I was there with the quarterbacks in high school, do you know the kind of chemistry we have with my talent and that ability that he has? So, those guys are fortunate and blessed. He's a very good guy. Like you said, 170 yards, yeah. That's pure talent and skill. Yes, it's one thing to be able to catch the ball, one thing to be able to run routes and get open, but to be able to put all that together and be able to run after catch as well, he's a complete package. He's a complete package, and I think he's going to do well, not only in college, but at the next level as well.
Dennis Norcutt is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto. Jack Farrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. Dennis, you was mentioning about quarterback play. You had a pretty good friend out of California, Long Beach area, Ortiz Jenkins, OJ. He's up on the Ring of Honor as well. Tell me a little bit about the connection, having a quarterback that you have a connection with. Now, you also had a connection with Keith Smith, so I'm not undervaluing that. But the connection that you had with OJ seemed to be a little special, and I know he was there for you as well your senior year. Tell me how important that is to have that type of connection with a quarterback.
It's very important. That's why when I was in school, and I used to tell guys all the time, and I tell my son that, and I tell guys that get ready to go to college. I had a kid this summer who was getting ready to go to college. And I said, when do you leave? He graduated like end of May. And I said, when you leaving? He said, I don't leave until July 30th. I said, I graduated on a Friday. That Sunday, I was going to Arizona. I was the only freshman down there. I was trying to figure out, hurry up and get down there and get familiar, get comfortable, find out, I didn't know what position I was going to play. I was just trying to hurry up and get to learning. Having a quarterback is very important to hurry up and get chemistry and build on the same page. When the season was over, I would grab Keith, I would grab OJ. OJ was my roommate, and we would go work. We were working like every day. They used to get tired of me. I used to always tell my quarterback, I'm going to wear your arm out. And I used to tell Keith and OJ, I'm glad it's two of you guys because I don't have to worry about wearing one quarterback's arm out. I'm going to wear the other one out. Don't worry about wearing my legs out because I'm going to be in shape. I'll be ready. And so it's very important. Guys need to know. It's my senior year, I put in a special play because I practiced so much like a quick fade, 25 yards, 5 yards from the sideline. Put it there, no matter how it looks. Once we call it, don't worry about nothing. Put it there, I'll be there. And I think we was like 8 for 8 on that route my senior year because we had practiced so much and putting that route together. And it was just a route when they wanted to all-out blitz us and put 8 in the box and stop Trung in the backfield, then let's give a little signal. It'll be a run play, and we just put it in a spot. So those guys have been together since high school. You don't see that too often. They'll be at high school and college. That's a rare thing that you see. It's such a blessing for them kids to be able to have that, man. So it's very important as you see it translating onto the football field.
What do you think about basically? I think T-Mac had 10 catches, and I think the next guy had 1. Maybe we had another receiver with 2, but several others with 1. What do you think about being in a situation in the first game where the first guy got 10 balls and the other guys got 1? Now, I looked at the tape again. I felt like all those plays, he basically were open. It was a couple that he, threw it up to his guy. But and I just thought that the defense that was getting played in that game, it kind of left him in a situation where they could get him the ball. So I totally understand taking advantage of that. Do you think that that's going to hurt us a little bit that we didn't get our other guys going yet?
Look, they got great coaches. Mm-hmm. Bobby Wade understands what that's about. We was always the guy that was the number 1 look. We was always in the NFL the number 2, number 3 look. I never complained about that. What you got to go out to do as some other guys is be ready. Don't go out pouting, oh, man, they only throwing to him. Get ready because teams is not going to let him just run up and down the field and catch 10 passes every week. They're going to start doubling him, running cover 2, putting a man over the top. You got to be the next man up. Your time is always plenty of balls to go around. You just got to be ready so when they do pass it to you, you can make a play. So those younger guys, those other guys, they should be mad and feeling like, oh, man, they only throwing the ball over there. Get ready. Be ready. Watch film and say, hey, I'm open here. Look, I'm not mad what you did. He had a great night. He's big time. But if they ever double him, I'll be right here for you. On this play, I'll be right here for you. That's what you have to do. Be ready. Maybe this game tonight. If it's not, eventually it's going to come. And when it comes, you be the guy that catches 10 passes and say, now you got to double both of them. See, that's the kind of mindset you have to have. You're going to have to double me as well. Because when they come to me, I'm going to make it hard for them not to come back to me. But you got to be ready. Too many guys spend time pouting and not working on their game and too much time running their mouth and getting mad and have an attitude rather than spending their time getting ready. So hopefully those guys are ready, and when the opportunity comes and presents itself, then they can go out and make plays as well.
Dennis Norcutt is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto. Jack Farrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. Dennis, we were a part of a great team. I think the best ever team in Arizona history, 12-1. I thought the most important thing that we had was our family atmosphere, how we stayed together. Tell me a little bit about what do you think about this team and their family atmosphere, and also the Polynesian. I know you from L.A. area, went to Long Beach, Poly, right?
No. I'm from the L.A. area. I was born and raised in Compton, L.A., and I went to Dorsey High School.
Dorsey. I always mess up Dorsey in Poly sometimes because they got that same type of respect.
Exactly. It's the same thing. They both put out a bunch of guys into the NFL, a bunch of athletes. So you can't go wrong with this big Poly.
You can't go wrong with that. So tell me a little bit about how important you think that family atmosphere is here, especially with the Polynesian culture, because I know you know a little bit of something about that being an LA guy as well.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's big. You know, I was introduced with that at Dorsey. They had a big Polynesian outing, even when I was in high school. You know, they're all about family. We always had food after the game, pregame food. Weekends we had bonding where food is always food involved when you're talking about team atmosphere with Polynesian. So, you know, that's what it's about, man. It's about chemistry, coming together, and, you know, being there for your brothers, man. So this stuff that guys are going to remember well after 20, 30 years after their college days. So having family is always, you know, never fades away. So that's why when we get on the phone, we may not be talking to each other every day, but when we talk on the phone and come together on a radio show like this, we always got love for each other because we know how close we was back then, and that was built back then on the football field.
Yes, sir.
And it'll last the rest of our lives. It's a respect, and it's a humbling, it's like a brother. So that's going to last the rest of our lives, and that's what those brothers are developing right now. So I'm happy they have that, man. And like I said, Coach Babers, Dwayne and Keena, the families that they have strong families. They have strong families. Bobby comes from a strong family. So I don't know the rest of those coaches, but I think Brendan did a great job putting those guys together, the coaching staff, to be able to help with the players understand what family is about. You know, I have all the faith in the world that, you know, the coaching staff was built right. The team is going to be built right. And I'm just excited about the whole team.
Well, I always enjoy talking to you, Dennis, man. You always have so much information, so knowledgeable about the sport in itself, and just a great U of A Wildcat, period. Our thanks to Dennis Norcutt for joining us. Our thanks to Dennis Norcutt for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Efon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto.
All right, much more straight ahead. We'll get our scoreboard. We'll hear from the head coach. It is the Wildcat Walk. We can hear the buses coming up behind us. The team is arriving here on campus here at the University of Arizona. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Joel McHale, live.
It was colder in Winnipeg than it was on Mars. What did the people of Winnipeg do when it was colder there than Mars differently? Nothing. They sent their kids to school. They were just like, run!
As seen on Netflix. Friday, October 18th, 8 p.m. Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Sahuarita. Tickets on sale now at the Reward Center or online at etix.com. Don't miss Joel McHale, live.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy.
30 seconds.
Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rocking K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Wildcat Nation.
Are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got him in. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Air down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to kick off on Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we're back out here at the U of A Mall, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. I've got tickets to the game if you need some. I got a whole bunch, actually. I'm going to give away some right now. We're going to have I think Ada, wasn't Ada with us last year like a number of times? I think Ada.
He was working us.
I think he may be part-time now.
I think he went and got a PhD in trivia.
Ada is back. Well, how you doing this year?
I'm good. I'm happy to be back to America and happy to see Wildcats on the again in the stadium. It's been good so far. The first match was kind of stressful, but
Yeah.
it's over. Yeah,
So
now
where
to
did
next
you
one.
spend the summer?
I was back at my own country, Turkey.
Turkey?
Okay.
All right.
So
Everything was good there that summer? You do a lot of surfing or swimming or beach or what?
yeah,
Hit
swimming.
the club-
Istanbul?
Hit the
No,
clubs?
I was at the southern part.
Okay,
Like
okay.
the Mediterranean part.
Okay.
It was fine.
All right, Ada, you want some tickets to the game, huh?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
want? I got a lot here. So how many you need?
2 will be
Two will
enough.
be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna not make it too hard on you, Ada.
Let's see.
Okay. Let's see how good your knowledge. I'm gonna give you a true or false question.
Okay.
How about that? True or false? Quarterback. Oh, here we go. We got the cops. We got Tucson's finest. Gotta love Tucson's finest. True or false? Quarterback Noah Fafita and wide receiver Tetero McMillan were teammates in high school.
I want to say false.
False?
Oh.
You missed, you missed the layup on that one.
Come on,
Yeah.
Ada.
Yeah, that was a wide open layup.
Ada.
Oh,
Ada.
wait. I read it last week after the
true.
match.
Yeah.
Ask him another one.
It's true. All right, I'm going to give you another one.
All right,
I got to come up with another question for you. Ada, okay.
That was
Last
easy.
year, well, this is a little harder, Ada. This is a little harder.
All right.
All right, I got to go because this was the only one on my mind. I went with my easy one first. Last year, the Wildcats won 10 games. How many times in history? I'm going to give you some choices on this one. How many times in history have they won 10 games? Was that the first time? Was that the fourth time? Was that the 20th time? Or was that the 30th time that they've won 10 games? Fourth, Otto! There you go. Congratulations, Otto. You get another 2 tickets to the
Auto
game.
deficiency.
Otto, you got. I want you to work.
Teamwork
I want
make
you
the
to
dream
work
work.
on your
Yeah.
history, man. I want you
Yeah,
to work on your
definitely.
history. I'm trying to make it easy for you here to get into the game. All right. So where'd you sit
I'm
last
new
week?
here, so
Where'd you
high
sit last
school
week?
Hmm?
Where'd you sit last week?
From the stadium.
From the stadium?
I got tickets from my friends. and,
Okay,
Like
all right.
the defense was kind of shaky.
Yeah.
Oh, shaky.
But
There you go.
the team is like trustful, so I just hope best for them because we love them, we cherish for them, and all cities like.
Right now.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The college football scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Got Alphas hanging out here on the yard tonight. That's right. Let's get to your scoreboard. We'll start with the top 25, and then we'll go to the Big 12. Doesn't look like there's too many upsets so far, but well, actually there was one upset.
Yeah.
So much for our BetQL best or 5-star bet of giving taking Notre Dame and giving the points.
Yeah, exactly.
That did not go well at all. See, I'm done. I'm done with the BetQL people because they have not won me any money in the last few weeks. The upset of the day: Northern Illinois. The Huskies go into Notre Dame Stadium and beat the Irish, the 5th-ranked Irish, 16-14. Is it going to be up? So the Utes have actually now played 2 games. Both of their games already have been in conference. Oklahoma State, how about number 16 Oklahoma State in 2 overtimes beats Arkansas at home 39-31. Number 17 Kansas State goes on the road. These are all Big 12 teams playing ranked games today. They go on the road and beat Tulane 34-27. Iowa State, how about this one? The Cyclones go into Iowa City and upset the number 21 Iowa Hawkeyes 20-19. They scored 20 points, all 20 points
in the
second half
of
that game. It was Louisville over Jacksonville State today. Syracuse knocks off number 23 Georgia Tech 31-28. So we've got a number of upsets on the board already. Penn State barely gets by Bowling Green 34-27. It was Texas, number 3 in the country, over number 10 Michigan in the Big House today, 31-12.
Ooh.
Quinn Ewers
In Michigan?
for
Yeah,
a 3
in
touchdown
Michigan.
pass at Ann Arbor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ann Arbor is not feeling very
It's got
good.
like 110,000.
Yeah, they got. I tell you what, Texas. If they could, they look pretty good. They look pretty good.
They got the personnel.
Yeah, but
the Huskers were down in Boulder last year, but now the kids, Dion and his kids, have to go on the road to try to get a win. Elsewhere, let's see, one other game involving a non-ranked Big 12 team. Cincinnati falls a little bit short at home. They fall to the Pitt Panthers today, 28-27. Last night, BYU went on the road and beat SMU in their Big 12 opener. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Does it feel like the price of everything is